This is how we're going to disappear by year and transform our lives. Now, when I say disappear, I don't mean you go like a hermit in a hole and hide completely. You still have to go and exercise. You still have to, go to work. You still have to go shopping, go to grocery, and do all these things. That is exactly not what we're saying to do. We're not saying be a hermit. We're saying we're going to be intentional about disappearing, and we're going to transform our lives through strategies, through a plan, through strategic plan. Right, guys? So, let's begin. First thing first, you want to get a journal. It's so important that we journal our goals, where we currently are, where we want to go, and what is our ideal self, what is our ideal weight, our ideal job, and all these different things. We must sit down and put pen to paper what is ideal for us and what we really want. Right, guys? After you write your goals, we want to make sure that our goals are in alignment with who we want to be. We want to make sure, I don't want to say realistic, because most times people tell you to set realistic goals, and guys, if it is you don't, test the waters. If it is you don't, come out of your comfort zone, most times you won't accomplish anything. So as it relates to being realistic, if you believe you can attain that goal, if you believe that you can achieve it, then put it in there. God is the God of impossible. Don't limit yourself and tell yourself, well, I can save, let's say for example, I can save 100,000 within the next year. Don't limit yourself. There are so many different ways that you can. So if the goal is if it's not attainable, if the goal is what you really want and you believe in yourself that you can achieve it, put that goal in. Make that goal stand in that journal. Put it there. You would hate yourself if you didn't put it. Please put the goal in. Right, guys? Next step. Whatever you put your mind to, whatever goals you have listed on that paper, be very intentional, be very strategic, be very consistent. Guys, these goals are for you. And like I said before, you are not giving yourself 3 months, 6 months where you want to just start and then no, you're giving yourself a good year of consistency where you are going to actually get up and go train, whether it's in the morning or in the evening. You choose whether you're going to do it in your home, in your yard, or you're going to do it in a gym. You choose, but you're going to be consistent with your goals. You're going to be able to say, you know what, I showed up for myself every single time. Whether you decided you're no longer going to entertain people who don't value you, whether you decide I'm going to learn a new skill, you're going to show up and you're going to give your very best. You're going to give your very best. You're going to do your absolute best, because you're going to remind yourself that I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else but for myself. So I have to give my best. So the rain it's kind of stopping, so the sound will be a bit better. Right, guys? So the next step is to understand why you are doing this. We must have a why. If we don't have a why, we will fall short. There must be a why attached to anything that you are doing out here. So for example, if we know we're going to disappear, we're going to attach to it why. Why am I disappearing? What is the purpose of me doing this? How is this going to serve me? How is this going to make me better? How is this going to change my habits? How is this going to change my routines? You must have a why. When you attach a why, you are more likely to commit to the goal in general. When you don't attach a why, you're basically doing it for aesthetics reason, and that is one of the worst ways you can just disappear, and it's just because you want to come back looking better. Now looking better is great, but you want to do it with intentionality and with a purpose. You want to have a why, and the why must be attached to all these different categories. Why do I want to be financially free? Because I may want to buy a home. I may want to pay for some basic necessities that I don't have right now and I need it. I need a car, I need a couch, I need a refrigerator. Attach a why. You want to be financially, you want to be stable, you want to be able to have basic necessities. You know, guys? So when you attach a why, it makes it so much more, how to put it? You feel better. You feel better, you know? You feel better about your goals. You know that you're being intentional. It gives you purpose. Now, guys, hear me out. When you disappear, you would learn a lot of things. You would learn a lot of things about yourself. You would learn a lot of things about other persons close to you, persons who may be associates. You would learn a lot. People would perceive this as, you know, maybe you think you're better, maybe you cut them off, maybe you're moving weird. There would be lots of things that you have to expect when you disappear to transform. And you have to keep in mind that this is a you versus you journey. This is not a you versus them. If you fail to disclose to people, you know, and I don't recommend doing that. I recommend, you know, you're just telling them, hey, I'm very busy right now. I'm working on some stuff, but I'm right here. You could always shoot a message, shoot a call. You could touch base for a quick 5 minutes, and you disappear, right? Especially for loved ones. But don't allow others to project their insecurities onto you just because you decided to disappear to fix and work on your life. Remember, you are doing this for you. It is you versus you, not you versus anyone else. You versus you. The old you versus the new you. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to stop speaking about your goals. Your goals are for you. Just like I said just now, it is between you and you. You have to learn to navigate. As I said before, you have to learn to navigate, you know, how people is going to perceive you, how they're going to react to you not being available. That's fine. It's not about them. Now, this step is where you actually keep quiet about your goals. Yes, you can tell them, hey, you can reach out, I'm busy. But guys, please be quiet about your goals, because what people do not know, they cannot destroy, they cannot attack, right? They cannot give their unsolicited advice, they cannot criticize. And yes, sometimes it's fine to get feedback from other persons. It's fine to get, you know, advice and whatnot from other people. But you are in a space where you are trying to create a new foundation. And in creating that foundation, you don't want anything to mess up your foundation. So you want to be quiet. You don't want to tell them what your goals are. You don't want to tell them what it is you're planning, what you're doing. You would be surprised how many people are rooting for you to fail. And when you show up and you give them a front row seat of your life, they are the ones that are secretly wishing that you fail, wishing it's your business in work, your relationship in work, your marriage in work, your education in work. Because you talk too much. You talk too much. I myself have been guilty. We need to keep tabs on it and lock it a little tighter, you know. Be quiet. Don't tell people your goals. Your goals are meant for you and you only. Right, guys? Which brings me to my next point. When you're going through this journey, this transformation, you have to not care what people think. Of course, there would be close people who you would appreciate, or you value their feedback, you value their opinion, and still you have to learn to accept what is necessary and reject what is not. You don't collapse into other people's identity of who they think you should be or who they think you currently are. You don't rely on other persons to project onto you. People will sometimes project all sorts of things onto you, and we sit and we accept it and we allow it to manifest in our life. We have to be able to say, no, I don't agree, and you move forward. You don't tell people your goals for a reason. It's for a reason, because people will now start to tell you why I think you should this, why I think you should that, why don't you this, and you sure that will work, and then you start to get self-doubt. You understand? And when self-doubt creeps in, you're not functioning at a high rate, and you begin to think about what it is the persons think of you, what they will say, what they will think, what this one will think about this, what this one will think about that. When it's not their decision, it's not up to them, it's up to you. It's solely up to you. You cannot sit and allow people to paint your life story for you or paint your identity. Your identity is for you to create, and if you don't create it, then you will allow so many different people to project onto you, and you will have a distorted identity, and you do not want that for yourself. Okay guys, so do not care about what it is others think. This journey is for you and what you think most importantly. All right, first and foremost, it's what you think. So guys, after you would have written on your goals in your journal and stuff, you want to make plans around these goals. So you want to now discuss how you're going to achieve these goals. What steps do you have to take? What courses do you have to take? What skills are required? What apps do you have to use? What habits do you have to now enforce? What routines do you have to do? Everything requires a plan. So with the strategic planning of your life, you have to get your plans in place. And when you build your plans, you don't tell anyone. Just like I mentioned before, you don't want people poking holes and trying to tell you what to do, how to do. No. You build your plan, you build everything that you need, your resources. In some cases, your plans may require certain people for you to collaborate with, and in such cases, only then would it be necessary for you to divulge certain information to them. However, other than, you don't need to. If a person is simply not a part of the building process, then they do not need to be included in the plan or to be communicated about the plan. This next step is so important, and I have been so guilty of this, where sometimes things are going really well, you start to see progress, and you want to now go and share your progress or share your wins, as I would like to call them. Hey, I just got accepted into this university. Hey, I just started a business. Hey, I just got a loan to buy a piece of land. Hey, I just got to travel, or I just got my visa. Whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. Don't show off your wins just yet. Until things are sealed and secured, you don't show up, because there are people lurking in the shadows and in the darkness who will still try to go and ensure that you fail. You want to make sure that it is complete, it is sealed before you begin to share it with people. Right, guys? So in essence, you don't show off your new wealth, you don't show off your new skills, you don't show off the new vehicle, you don't show off the new car yet, you don't show off your anything, your new job. You don't show off anything yet. There's a time and a place where you can reveal if you choose to reveal, and in some cases you don't need to. You can gatekeep things for yourself, but the point is to gatekeep some things. You don't know who is there waiting, wishing that you failed. Right? Gatekeeping is a skill, and sometimes we're not accustomed, so we'll have to learn along the way, and that's fine. But you want to start gatekeeping your wins. This is something that nobody mentions when you're going through a transformation journey, that it is gonna hurt. It is gonna hurt. You're gonna lose people. You may be physically tired, you may be emotionally drained, mentally drained. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be hurt. But it is crucial that you push through, that you persist, that you be consistent regardless, because there is a reward at the end. After you've suffered for a while, according to the Bible, after you've suffered for a while, there will be completion, perfection. These things will happen. So I like to look at these things as learning lessons. It's a part of the journey. Without it, it helps to build your character. Without it, it doesn't help you to be more appreciative. So it builds your character. You become more appreciative. You get to see certain things and understand certain things that you would have never understood before. Right, guys? Because you're learning now through trial and error. So with that being said, we have to accept the pain and the hurt that comes with the journey. That's a part of life. We have to, acceptance is also a skill. Once we accept these things, it is so much easier for us to navigate now, because we no longer with acceptance, we no longer put certain things on others. Like for ourselves, we can put certain things on ourselves, but we must understand that we can't dictate or control how other people react. Because even with this personal transformation journey, like I said before, you're going to be hurt. People are going to stop talk to you. People are going to try to slander your name, start a smear campaign. You're going to be physically hurt from going to the gym and training, and your body aching and you're tired, or you're trying to transform your health, so it now requires you to give up certain foods and now start to eat more healthy. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I'm so sorry, but it will be for the better of you. I promise you that it will be for the better of you. When you do this, when you disappear and you set down specific goals, financial, your mental, your emotional, your physical, your career goals, relationship goals, you basically reprogram your mind. You change your mindset, and once you change your mindset, everything else falls in place after. You change your mindset, you change your willpower, you change your level of consistency. You are now able to look at your life and tell yourself, I can't do this. Before, I had so many self-doubts, and you will still have self-doubts, but now you're actually putting in the work. You're showing up regardless. Even if you fail, you're going to show up again and try again. You're going to show up again and try again. You're going to consistently show up and try again until you get it. You reprogram your mind to think differently. You reprogram your mind to actually see things from a different light, because most people live in a scarcity mindset, so they tell themselves, I'm not able to do that. I can't do that. I can't do this. When you actually can. So when you begin to shut out all the noise and just focus on your thoughts, your words, what you want, the goals you have for yourself, it becomes so much easier. You will now want to read more. You would now want to speak to more intelligent people. You would now be digging deep in the rabbit hole, researching and looking for things that you probably would have came across during this transformation journey. And you would no longer want to eat certain unhealthy food. Your whole entire mindset shifts. And guys, like I said before, it is a gradual change, but with every change comes a new level of information, a new level of perspective. You become more self-aware, you become more introspective, you look at yourself internally, you even ask yourself, if there's things that is wrong with me, am I doing something wrong? Do I need to change my attitude? Do I need to change my perspective on life? So you really reprogram yourself entirely, right guys? And not living a sedentary lifestyle is quite beneficial for your mental health. It is quite beneficial for your physical health, right? Because guys, we have to get our body moving. We have to exercise. You have to exercise. You have to eat healthy, and exercise comes in various forms. I tell people all the time, the gym is not the only place where you can actually go to train and exercise. It is amazing, but there are so many different options that you can do. There's horseback riding, there's swimming, there's hiking, there's jogging, running, there's CrossFit training, there's golf, there's tennis. There are so many different types of sporting activities that we can actually engage in, right? That will help with our peace of mind, that will help to keep our stress levels low, that will help us to not live a sedentary lifestyle. Get up and get out of the house. Get out of the house. You can disappear and still not be in the house. It is quite possible. You can go to the gym because you see, a lot of times people are looking for partnerships in anything. They're looking for a partner to go to the gym, they're looking for a partner to go and exercise, to go and run, to go and do whatever. And in some cases, yes, a partner may be applicable, or it may be more fun with a partner, but you don't need to. You can absolutely do things by yourself as well. Make time for yourself. And there are various ways that we can do it. I'm going to shoot another video as to how we cannot live a sedentary lifestyle, even if we don't want to be around, toxic environments or toxic peoples. There are still ways that we can do this. However, we still want to ensure that we are getting our fresh air. We're going to the gym and training. You go to the grocery, you go to a museum. You still want to ensure that you put yourself in places, because the transformation is something that is done internally, but we need external resources as well. Sometimes you may need to network with other people. Sometimes you may need to go to the library to read. Sometimes you may need to go to school to upskill, to get a certification in something. You may need to still go to work. So at the same time, we are still not living a sedentary lifestyle, because we still have to show up for ourselves. It just requires us to be more consistent and gatekeep our specific goals and work on ourselves. We're not out there living for aesthetics and hype and fluff. We're actually putting in the real work behind the scenes, you know. And guys, this goes back to the second point I gave, where you be very specific with your goals, your financial goals, your relationship goals, your health goals, your career goals, your business goals, your parental goals, whatever goals that you may have. This is where you want to be specific, because when things like this happen, you now revert to your goals. So if it is your goal is to have, meaningful relationships, and this is not just for like a spouse, this is also for like friends. If your goal is to have meaningful relationships where you show up for them, they show up for you, and you come up with mechanisms or different things that you express for them, this is how we communicate, this is how we do things, this is how we show up for each other. So if for some reason a person is not able to align with these things, then you remove them, because you simply understand that they are not meant to be in your circle or in your community at this time being. Right, guys? And it's fine. You release them, you forgive them, and you move on. You be very specific with your financial goals. You set specific goals that you know that when certain things come around, you're not just gonna rush to buy this because somebody tell you to buy it. You're not gonna just do this because you have goals in mind. So when you be very specific with your targets, it makes it so much easier for you to accomplish things that you need to accomplish, and you will reward yourself greatly for it. And with that being said, when you're experiencing and you're going through your hurt, your pain, you may feel to cry, you may feel to scream. It is okay. It's okay. But one of the most crucial things that nobody teaches, really and truly, is that you don't collapse into it. You don't sit in that place of hurt, you don't sit in that place of worry, that place of depression and anxiety, and you allow it to consume you, because it will consume you. So what you do is you accept things for what it is, you get up, and you continue pushing, because there is hope still, there's other opportunities still, there are other persons out there who's willing to help you and love you and treat you right and assist you and accommodate you. So you don't sit in depression and anxiety, you guys. You accept your pain, you sit in silence, you work through it. You're not just gonna become numb, you're gonna work through it. You're gonna understand why this happened, how it happened, and if you were in the right, you accept it and you move on. You find new people, you find new spaces. If you were in the wrong, you accept that that is a character flaw, or flaw within them, or a flaw within the system, and you remove yourself, because there's always something that can be done. You remove yourself and you continue along your journey. That's all you do. You do not collapse into brokenness and pain and sorrow and depression and this stuff. You don't. Just don't. Because it does not serve you. with acceptance, we no longer put certain things on others. Like for ourselves, we can put certain things on ourselves, but we must understand that we can't dictate or control how other people react. Because even with this personal transformation journey, like I said before, you're going to be hurt. People are going to stop talk to you. People are going to try to slander your name, start a smear campaign. You're going to be physically hurt from going to the gym and training, and your body aching and you're tired, or you're trying to transform your health, so it now requires you to give up certain foods and now start to eat more healthy. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I'm so sorry, but it will be for the better of you. I promise you that it will be for the better of you. This is something that nobody mentions when you're going through a transformation journey. That it is gonna hurt. It is gonna hurt. You're gonna lose people. You may be physically tired. You may be emotionally drained, mentally drained. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be hurt. But it is crucial that you push through, that you persist, that you be consistent regardless, because there is a reward at the end. After you've suffered for a while, according to the Bible, after you've suffered for a while, there will be completion, perfection. These things will happen. So I like to look at these things as learning lessons. It's a part of the journey. Without it, it doesn't. It helps to build your character. Without it, it doesn't help you to be more appreciative. So it builds your character. You become more appreciative. You get to see certain things and understand certain things that you would have never understood before. Right, guys? Because you're learning now through trial and error. So, with that being said, we have to accept the pain and the hurt that comes with the journey. That's a part of life. We have to. Acceptance is also a skill. Once we accept these things, it is so much easier for us to navigate now. Now, why would I not include the author and finisher of our faith? Why would I not include the creator of the universe and all things? Guys, partner with God. You want to partner with God. You want to be able to say, listen, in your quiet time, when you're doing transformation, you're asking God. He created everything. Why would we not? God, I need a sense of direction. Remember in the Bible, Solomon asked God asked Solomon, what do you want? He asked for wisdom. He knows everything. He knows the end from the beginning. You could say, God, I want wisdom. I want healing. I want restoration. I want divine intervention. I want vindication. I want justice. I want peace. I want power and authority. I want promotion. I want territory. So guys, partner with God most importantly. When you partner with God during this transformation journey, you see unprecedented change, winnings, victories, testimonies, and He is really and truly the only partner that you need in this process. I mean, everybody else, you can have other people, that's fine, but He's the most important one. Alright guys, and I hope this video helped someone. Thank you guys for watching. Look out for the other videos.